This is a fantastic video by John Meyer on how to optimize the level details on your trees, whether it's for troubleshooting or whether you just imported a tree asset that you need to make some trouble or changes to use it in game.
So, quick video to show how we can improve the performance of our trees or fix a tree that's not performing well, stuff like that. So, initial report was a person had, they put some of these trees into their scene and the FPS has tanked and they nailed it down to some of these trees. So, I had a quick look through them and definitely one of the problems is this Fir Tree 05T2. Now, I'll show you how I found out why I thought it was a problem and then how to fix it. So first things first, clicking on it here, I don't like the look of this LOD group, I don't like the way the percentages are set and things like that. I don't know if that's just a display thing, but yeah, I don't really like it. So what I'll do is I'll drag it into this blank scene, and we've got here, you can see he's already done the colliders and they look fine. And we've got three LODs, LOD 0, LOD 1 and LOD 2. So my first port of call normally would be to check on the LOD group, and I'd check by clicking on these the try count, but I can't actually see the try. You see down the bottom here it says the triangles. This is for I can't even see which LOD it is. I think it's LOD 1. So what I'm going to do is, first things first, I'm going to just remove this component, this LOD. This is on the parent object. I'm going to remove this LOD group component and I'm going to add it back in so I can make it fresh. So for my LOD 0, I'm simply going to drag my LOD 0 child from our parent onto my LOD 0 section. Do the same for LOD 1 and the same for LOD 2. Now if I had 3, you could right click and insert an extra LOD if you needed to, and then you can obviously right click to delete them. So now I can see what's going on. We can see, so our LOD 0, if you click on the renderer, we know it's this LOD 0 over here, and down the bottom here you get an indication, and a problem straight away is LOD 0 is 12,800. Personally, I just think that's just too high. Our LOD biasing in game uses LOD 0 quite a long way out, so I'd be looking to get rid of this LOD level. So our LOD 1 is 5,000, that's more like it. I try and keep below 10 at the absolute most, ideally below 8. So LOD 1 will be fine and LOD 2 will keep. So my first step will be to get rid of LOD 0. So as before, right click and delete, and we should delete this LOD. And also you'll see now how it's coming up in here, we need to delete the LOD 0 from our prefab as well, otherwise it will render it as well as our LOD group controlled one. So we need to delete that out of there. If you didn't delete that, when the tree rendered, it would render both whatever you've got set in the LOD group and also anything that's in here that isn't in the LOD group, so you'd end up double drawing it. And so now I'm just going to rename these just for sort of to do it properly. So now if we come back in here, we've got LOD 0 is our LOD 0 here, which is 5,000, and our LOD 1 is 1,800. Click on the renderer is our LOD 1. So that's that done. Our tree's instantly now a lot lower triangles, and now we can set our percentage levels. So let's click recalculate bounds. This little camera icon, when you're on the parent, if you select this camera, you can then zoom and see when it's changing over. So you can see we've got LOD 0 all the way out to here, which we don't need. So if you grab hold of this, the sort of transition point, you can then set where the changeover occurs in terms of size. And then if you click over on the actual game object, you click LOD 0, it will show you the LOD 0 tree or LOD 1, so you can see there's no difference there. So we can make it even closer. We can bring that in. You can still get away with it. So you could probably go even all the way to there. So up to this small, it's still going to be doing that 5,000 triangle tree. Now before it was doing the 12,000 triangle tree. But as you can see, there's next to no difference between this, visually, between this one and this one. And this is currently an 1,800 triangle tree. So you were wasting before 11,000 triangles per tree. So you think if you had 100 of those, that's 1.2 million or 1.1 million triangles that were being wasted. And it can go into the millions. So yeah, so that's how I would adjust my percentages. And you can see as you come in, you're still LOD 0. looks fine. Obviously if you do it super close you can see there's a difference there, but even from this sort of distance, see it's visually not as good. Come out to here slightly, but I mean we're not even there yet, we're not even at changeover. It's not until it gets out to sort of this sort of distance it's changing over. I don't think during flight you'll notice that, well you won't notice it. So yeah, so that's how I would go about trimming up our trees, removing LOD levels. I'll do another one just to show it. So once you've made those changes, oops, I then set my transform back to 0, 0, 0 just to put it in the right position, and then I would click the apply button, and now that will then have overwritten this prefab to have the correct LOD levels. I think this was another one, so just to go through it again, this fur T4 or fur 04, we'll drag that in. Again, you might not have this problem with the LOD groups, they generally, you can just click on them and you can see it, but because it's coming a bit wonky, this is how I do it from sort of scratch. I'll just replace it, then drag in our LOD 0, our LOD 1, and LOD 2, and then have a look what we got, and this one's 14,000, so it's even worse. So again, delete this LOD group out of here, delete this LOD level out of the LOD group, delete the corresponding mesh that you no longer want, rename these, oops, LOD 0, LOD 1, colliders are goods. Isn't it? They could go over a little bit to be fair, but anyway, colliders are generally good, and then back into the LOD group, grab your transition, make it so that you start sort of 95ish, no difference, I'll bring it even closer. Slightly different, but so yeah, so you're only LOD 0ing out to there, and as you slide out, if you can't notice a transition, there isn't even a transitional fade or anything. I mean, it's next to imperceivable, the difference, and you've just saved, like from this point here, when the tree's this big, this LOD 1 is now 1700 and it was 14,000 before, so again 100 trees, another 1.2 million triangles sort of saved. All helps to render up your speed, to increase your rendering sort of speeds. And then that's it. So once you've done it and you're happy, set your transforms, just to reset that, just out of neatness, and then click apply, and it'll overwrite your prefab. And that's it. I hope you find that helpful.